Welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, your weekly dose of what's new and what's nude in movies, TV, and Hollywood's sexiest stars. Now get ready for your host, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin.
Legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast. And today we have a special show. We're going to hop in the time machine and go back a few years and see what Mr. Skin has for us in order of a top 10 list. I'm excited. Skin, which year are we hitting today?
Well, Andrea, it's the year the Wonder Bra was invented.
Well, then, hallelujah. Thank you.
Well, not that you ever needed a Wonder Bra, but it's...
I still wore it anyway.
Well, we're going to do a top 10 nude scenes of 1994, and I got to say...
that's a year, man.
Every time I pick one of these, I always get all bummed out about, how am I going to do only 10? Because, I was thinking of, Madeline Stowe didn't make the cut. Erica Leniak didn't make the cut.
What?
Carrie Wurr. Gabriella Noir and the Body Snatchers. Emmanuel Sainer and Bitter Moon. Linda Kozlowski and Backstreet Justice. These were Shannon Worry's another one in Animal Instincts that, oh my God, in any other year, these are going to crack the top 10. But Andrea, there were so many great ones this 1994. It's pretty amazing.
You know, Skin, if you ever wanted to do a top 20 list, if it's a year like 1994, I don't think any of your fans would be upset with you.
No, well, thanks. Well, let's real fast before I do this,
yes.
Go down the list with you. Yeah, paint a picture. Where were we? What was going on in 1994? So that was a year, the big deal. I remember this vividly. It was when that Tanya Harding, the goons attacked Nancy Kerrigan. Remember, that was a huge deal. The figure skating. Yeah, that was huge. They made a movie about that already.
And a porn.
Kurt Cobain committed suicide. That's a bummer from 1994. In happier news, Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what great movies. Think about this. Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, all came out that year, isn't it? That's just incredible.
That is mind-blowing because to this day, I love Pulp Fiction, for example.
Oh, yeah.
The longevity of those movies as far as being just so impactful is timeless. Wow.
Were you a Friends fan?
Not at all.
Okay. Friends debuted, ER debuted, My So-Called Life. Those were all TV shows
My
that
So-Called
debuted.
Life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people. Dookie by Green Day came out. That's one of the greatest albums of all time.
Love that
Yeah.
song.
Really great album. That Nirvana Unplugged was that year because Kurt Cobain killed himself a couple months after that, and a lot of great music. I'm trying to think what that was a year that was a Cowboys won the Super Bowl, so that wasn't that great. And that was the year Michael Jordan was playing baseball, so the Houston Rockets beat the New York Knicks that year. And a couple prices before we start. Average income. What do you think the average income was in 1994?
Domestically? 38,500.
You are unbelievable. It was 38,000. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I know all this is because we've been doing so many of them.
Yeah, right.
I'm just using my deductive reasoning skills.
Yeah, that's funny. And a new car was about 13,000 average price. New house,
take us
100.
back to 99. Skin, can we just go back
94,
to
94?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But seriously, the best movies, apparently so much
no
good nudity.
superhero movies either back then. We just had movies with violence
writing,
or nudity, right?
Acting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Gallon of gas. What do you think it cost in 1994?
Lord, I don't even know with all these fluctuations.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably not even a good question anymore. $1.44, which, that's like half of what it costs now. So that's
right.
Yeah, but people weren't making as much money, so whatever. But people were seeing great nude scenes in 1994, Andrea. So let me count down my 10 favorite.
Get to the good stuff.
And like I said, I just rattled off a ton that didn't make the cut, but these 10, I just had to, at some point you just got to say, all right, enough's enough. These are the 10. So let me start with Pam Anderson in Raw Justice.
Dude, Pamela Anderson can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
So please tell me all about Raw Justice. I don't believe I have any awareness of this at all. So let me have it.
Well, she was, by the way, she had established herself by then as the blonde bombshell of her era, no question about it. She was like the Marilyn Monroe in the 50s. She was Farrah Fawcett in the 70s, Madonna in the 80s. She was the it girl at this time. And, she had been in the Playboy Playmate of the Month in February of 90 and then did a bunch of covers. As you know, she was all over that. She was even in that Home Improvement that was in Tim Allen's show in 1991 as the Tool Time girl. Baywatch. She became an international superstar in 1992 from Baywatch. That would go on for a few years. So right in the middle of all this, she does this this is a direct-to-video thriller. She did Snapdragon also, but I chose Raw Justice at the 40-minute mark. Great nudity. This guy is like, she's up against a wall wearing a shirt over her boobs, and this guy is like going down to like lick some ass, and oh my God. What a great scene. It's number 10 on my list, but oh my God, I just love it. And boy, did she look especially good right around this time.
I mean, she looks like an angel, like a sex angel.
Yeah.
I like the scene where she's on top of him and he's grabbing her titties, because that's what we've all have wanted to do our entire lives, is grab Pamela Anderson's boobs. So the fact that I can live vicariously through him in this scene, but just that innocence on her face. She has this, it's this weird duality of being like the sexiest thing alive, but like also looking like a sweet little angel. I am obsessed with Pamela Anderson. Always have been, always will be.
That's a really good point. There is an innocence to her, and also I think a lack of work done on her face too. But she definitely she just looked like a younger 20-something at the time, and man, was she beautiful!
So gorgeous, so gorgeous.
Love it. So Pam Anderson in Raw Justice is my number 10 nude scene of 1994. So, by the way, the next year she met and married Tommy Lee, and very soon after they taped a certain on their honeymoon, they made a little tape. I don't know if you ever heard about that.
Best tape ever.
Yeah,
that's when I really fell in love with Pamela Anderson, because I love a woman who knows how to, throw it down. So
So anyway, so that was number 10. Now number 9 is someone who actually became famous after this, but this is maybe not super well known, but the nudity's fantastic. It's from a beautiful actress. Her name's Katherine Bell from a TV show called Hotline. It was, I guess you could compare it slightly. It was maybe a takeoff on Red Shoe Diaries a little.
Okay.
And she's best known. She played Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Mackenzie on the TV series Jag. So in a couple of years, so this is like from 97 to 2005, she became a pretty well-known television star. So this is like 3 years before that. And then she was on a show called Army Wives from like 2007 to 2013. And anyway, she was a fashion model, and I know she did a lot in Japan and stuff. And really like she had a weird story, because in 1992 she did one of the weirdest nude scenes of all time a couple years earlier, where she was a body double for Isabella Rossellini. So she was an unknown actress, and there's this great nude scene in the movie where Isabella Rossellini's character is supposed to be walking towards along a pool completely naked, but it was actually Katherine Bell. And later on when she became famous, it was like a weird thing where you would rather see the
Body double.
It was cooler it's one of the only times the body double became more famous than the actual actress she was doing the body. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. So anyway, in 1994, she does this hotline. And it's a great standing sex scene. It starts with her standing nude and then riding this guy in a chair. It's just such a hot scene. And she had also done a nude scene in Dream On. She did this thing a couple years earlier in Death Becomes Her. But this was like the last time we ever saw her naked. But boy, did she look great. And it's my number 9 nude scene of 1994.
I'm all about it. She looks incredible. I love her as a body double. I love her as the main actress getting naked. I think I just love Katherine Bell. So
yeah, no, she's great. Yeah, she's
awesome.
Great. And CP just posted those
the body double. Oh my god.
Yeah, the body double scenes are really great. So.
I remember talking about this a long time ago. So thank you for refreshing my memory, because it is stunning. So beautiful to look at.
Well, and I should mention for number 8, it's unfair to other actresses because Mimi Rogers has the perfect Mr. Skin body, long dark hair, thin arms, and humongous natural boobs. So she did a movie in 1994 called Killer. And that's my number 8 thing. And what's interesting is people forget, but she was the first wife of Tom Cruise.
I know.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
I only know because you've told me. I don't think I knew that otherwise. That's insane. If you had boobs like that at home, why would you ever break up? Or she might have left him, let's be real.
Well, she had done like a couple years earlier, she did a movie called The Rapture. And she had a topless scene, especially in the European version. The American version, it wasn't as easy to see. But anyway, so then she was in Playboy, I believe, in like 93, probably. Then she does this movie in 94, this crime romance movie called Killer with Anthony LaPaglia. And he plays a hitman hired to rub out Mimi. And naturally, he falls in love with her and wants to have sex with her. And this scene at the 37-minute mark, it's hard to see in a picture, Andrea, is those were moving around really nicely.
They were swinging, weren't they?
Oh my God,
she's got
were
swingers,
they swinging?
So
she's got swingers. So he's on top of her, and her enormous breasts are just swinging all over the place, and it's just a stunning nude scene. Now, the next year in 1995, she did one of my top 5 favorite movies for nudity of all time, Full Body Massage, where we really got to finally see like everything.
Oh yes,
and it's still one of the great made for cable movies of all time. So anyway, Mimi Rogers, the movie's called Killer. It was also known as Bulletproof Heart. It's gone by a couple different names, but basically her having sex with Anthony LaPaglia at the 37-minute mark is the number 8 nude scene of 1994.
Wow, she's something else, man.
Yeah. Now, this next one, I'm curious to see if you remember her.
Okay.
She had her window of fame, but it's Jane March in Color of Night, the movie from 1994. She did this with Bruce Willis, and she had a couple years earlier made this auspicious debut in the international art house hit The Lover. She was 19 years old in 1992. So in that movie, she played a British teenager in this. There was this 1929. It was like 1929 Vietnam, and she gets in this torrid relationship with this older Chinese man, and it was it was a very controversial movie, but ton of sex and nudity. In fact, there's rumors that they were really having sex in there because you could see in one scene. It's called The Lover in 1992. So now we fast forward. So it's really hot stuff. Because an Asian lover. I mean, that's right up your alley. Yeah. So Hollywood kind of wanted to capitalize on this, her sexy image and her fearlessness, and there was this big budget erotic thriller called Color of Night starring Bruce Willis. So they go ahead and get Jane March, fresh off The Lover, into this movie, and Bruce Willis played like a psychiatrist, and Jane March is one of his group therapy patients, and they end up having this affair. And the movie's kind of forgotten in time, probably got terrible reviews, bombed at the box office and all this, but the sex scenes with Bruce Willis and her are so hot. Plus, Bruce Willis showed cock in this.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Don't make CP go to Mr. Man and track this down for you.
CP, you got to show me Bruce Willis's wank. I got to see this. Is it hard or is it limp? Or is that obscene to show it hard? I don't know the rules.
Oh, no. They can't show a hard cock in a movie. I mean, that would be a porn movie, yeah. By the way, CP just pulled up while I was talking. Scroll down where she's sitting on top of the Chinese guy in The Lover.
Oh, my God.
Do you see, doesn't it look like his cock is in,
it's
there's
up
stuff
there
going on?
Because where else would it be? It's up.
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty intense. But anyway, I don't want to do a whole show on the Lover and Color of Night, but Jane March is number 7 of my best nude scenes of 1994. Hot stuff. She's full frontal nude in the water. Just I chose the scene at the 1 hour mark, but there's tons of her nude in that. So
and
anyway,
her face is gorgeous too.
Yeah, she's really erotic.
She's beautiful.
Exotic look to her. 100%. So let me get to number 6 on my list of the best nude scenes of 1994. Kim Basinger in The Getaway.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm a huge I'm a huge Kim Basinger girl, Kim Basinger fan, Kim Basinger girl. But anyway, The Getaway is a remake of a classic. There was a 1972 I think it was Sam Peckinpah movie starring Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw. Mm-hmm. And it also is known. It had Ally McGraw was nude in that, and near nudity from Sally Struthers, best known as Gloria Stivic from TV's All in the Family. Well, you could eventually see Gloria naked in 5 Easy Pieces, but we'll get to that. That was in the 70s. But anyway, The Getaway remake they did in 1994 starred Alec Baldwin and his real life wife at the time, Kim Basinger,
which is so hot,
who they were married. Yeah, I know. It's and their sex scene, I gotta say, is super hot. Like, they were into it, and it was cool. And it's really, really hot. And that's my number 6 scene. By the way, I don't know if CP pulled it up, but Niptastic Nips, can we say, from Kim Basinger?
No, yes. One, I had no idea she had that big of boobs. 2, her nipples are like, pencil erasers. That color, straight up, gorgeous. And, I forget how beautiful she is. You know what I mean? Her features are so perfect. Her lips, her nose, her skin, her eyes, her boob. Like, she's so beautiful. And I forgot that. So thank you for that pleasant reminder of what a babe she is.
Yeah, and Alec Baldwin, getting the face in there. I know. It's really hot stuff. So if you haven't seen this remake, I know Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw were married and did The Getaway, and it's kind of cool that they found 2 hot actress to do. So really cool stuff in the remake of 1994. But Kim Basinger comes in at number 6 on my best nude scenes of 1994.
Well, I'm loving this list so far.
I know, and we still got great stuff to go. Now, number 5 is an actress who we all agree has breasts that are real and they're spectacular. It's Teri Hatcher in The Cool Surface, the scene at the 27-minute mark. And now, what's funny is the year before, she had become a huge star on Lois and Clark. She played Lois Lane opposite Dean Cain on Superman. But that same year, not knowing she was going to become a famous TV star, she did this movie. The Cool Surface, with Robert Patrick, better known as the Liquid Terminator from Terminator 2, who's like a poet, and Teri plays his inspiration in this movie. And it's again, a movie that I doubt even played in the theaters. It was probably like a straight to video type of movie. She was unknown when they were filming it, and then hit it big on Lois and Clark, right? Yeah. So, but what is very obvious here is it's a very hot sex scene between the 2 of them. But oh my God, does she have great breasts, and they're real. And they did the funny joke on Seinfeld about how they're spectacular. So you get to see Teri Hatcher. She also did a movie a couple years later called Heaven's Prisoner, where you could see her even topless and bottomless through the fence or through a railing in a balcony. But I really love, as far as my Teri Hatcher nudity, this scene in the cool surface at the 27-minute mark with Robert Patrick. It is sexy, and she, like they said on Seinfeld, looks spectacular.
I mean, this to me was her prime. She was just natural in every way you can imagine, you know, like her hair, her face, like she's like that dark angel look. You know, Pam Anderson is our, like, you know, angel. Teri's like that goddess to me, where it's like, oh, you're just so sexy, but like have this innocence, but I know you're a bad girl. They both embody that to me. So you're pulling out all the favorites today, Skin.
Oh, yeah. No. There's great stuff here. And again, just watching this, I remember when this came out, I didn't watch Lois and Clark. I didn't even know who Teri Hatcher was. But I remember thinking, oh, my God, this girl is, you know, beautiful. And then Seinfeld forever. And then, of course, you know, she went on the Desperate Housewives and everything. She had a great career. But if you want to see the best place to see Teri Hatcher naked, the cool surface 27-minute mark from 1994, number 5 on my list of the best nude scenes of the year. So let me get to number 4, a scene I accidentally love, because you know I love Muff and I love hot babes. It's Dana Delany in Exit to Eden at the 37-minute mark. Now, what's interesting, she played, there was a show called China Beach from 1988 to 1991. It was kind of a war TV series, and she became a pretty decent-sized star. She played Colleen McMurphy. She was a nurse on this Vietnam War TV series.
Okay.
And she actually did a brief nude scene a couple years before this in a movie called Light Sleeper with Willem Dafoe. It's weird because it's lit to be completely green. So I always wished she would do something better. And then with Exit to Eden, she does a scene at the 37-minute mark, perfectly lit, getting out of the pool, completely naked. And then her assistant, Stephanie Niznik, puts a robe on her.
She's naked too.
I know.
Wait,
it's
what?
double your pleasure.
Wow.
It's double your pleasure.
I was too busy looking at Dana Delaney's muff and boobs for the last 2 minutes to even notice the assistant until you just said it. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. The assistant's nude. But
this is awesome.
I mean, imagine a TV star who you know from television, who had done a brief nude scene, but it was poorly lit. It was green lighting. All of a sudden is in this movie, and for no reason of all comes out of the pool, and the scene goes a little because she emerges from the pool, walks up, full frontal, full bush, tatas, the whole thing. It just blew my mind. And still to this day is one of my favorite nude scenes. And I should say that Exit to Eden is there was a popular sex novel by the horror author Anne Rice, and it was adapted into a movie, but the Hollywood machine just totally
butchered it.
It's nothing like the book. And Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd were the detectives in this. There's detectives that go to this fetish place.
This sounds fun.
But it was supposed to be, but it was so butchered that it kind of bombed at the box office. But it will forever be on our minds for this scene at the 37-minute mark where Dana Delaney gets out of the water. It's really a spectacular scene.
Well, I'm loving the clips I'm seeing, so
yeah,
it's all that matters to me.
Yeah, no, really great stuff. So let me get to number 3 on my list of the best nude scenes of 1994. It's Mädchen and Amick from Dream Lover. This was a cable this thing aired on cable television. If you're a guy from 1995 to 2005, you probably saw this many times on cable television. It was just a cable favorite. And Mädchen is probably, I think, was first known because she was one of the David Lynch girls in Twin Peaks. She played a waitress named Shelley Johnson. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and she also was in the movie spinoff, but she was a waitress in the original show. So that show became very, very popular. And she's such a beautiful actress. Yeah,
and, really beautiful.
So a couple years later, after that, she does this psychosexual thriller starring James Spader, and she plays a woman who he hooks up with and has a kid with. Now it's amazing. She hooks up with him. to fuck him, but also fuck with his head, but goes far enough to have a kid with him and then play head games with him. It's really dark, this movie. Yeah. You could see why he would fall for her, because, early on she couldn't have been sweeter. They're having amazing sex. This scene at the 29-minute mark where they're in bed, she gets up and walks to the bathroom fully nude.
Dude.
Is just, I just love this scene. And
I can see why, Skin. I can see why.
Oh my God. And she's beautiful, and she has an ass, and shows bush, and oh my God, it's just a great, great scene. It's number 3 on the best nude scenes of 1994.
In that exact scene, she looks like if Teri Hatcher and Angelina Jolie had a hot baby. She's like a fusion
she's gorgeous.
of them two. And because I'm like, who does she look like? Who does she look like? It's like a complete mashup of those two absolute smoke shows. Wow, I'm blown away. Like you said, perfect boobs, perfect butt, nice bush. I mean, and just that sexy look. So I'm
it's
very
amazing.
pleased with this. Yes.
So, all right. Well, let me get to number 2, because I always have to defend this, because I always feel pretty disgusting about myself.
I wondered we were going to talk about this next. It's been a few, maybe 9 months since it's been brought up. So bring it on, Skin. I have your back, buddy.
I don't think anybody in my personal life would be happy with this as being on a list of any kind. But it's Meredith Baxter in the movie My Breasts from 1994, the greatest network nude scene of all time. And this actually aired on NBC in prime time, and you got to understand. Now, let me put it in perspective.
I'm not gonna be able to stop giggling.
I know she actually is best known. Now, you had seen her in the 80s. She's playing Michael J. Fox's mom, Elise Keaton, on the classic 80s sitcom Family Ties.
Yes, that's right. She always wore those sweaters that were a little loose, but she had big cans underneath.
I first knew her from the ABC drama Family from the 70s. So you got to understand, a young Mr. Skin is very, very into the milfy Meredith Baxter. And then all of a sudden now here's the rub, no pun intended, is the fact that in the movie she gets breast cancer and she's at the doctor's office having it being examined. But I want to stress again, on NBC primetime, she's getting examined. She just flops out one of the biggest natural boobs. And I want to stress, she didn't really have cancer, and that really wasn't a doctor. So I'm going to cover myself there. But my God, to see a mom, a TV mom, just whip out a big breast. I mean, that's shocking and sexy and everything. And that's why it's number 2 on my best nude scenes of 1994.
Yeah. Context aside, it is something magical because you don't expect it ever. It's like that Easter egg that you find that you're not looking for. And it's like, oh my God, there it is. And I see why it keeps recurring intermittently throughout the years that I've known you. And you know what? Every time we discuss it again, it's like that Easter egg all over. So thank you for that gift.
Well, and it's funny because she came out, Meredith Baxter came out as a lesbian in 2009. She was 62 years old, Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? You wonder why she didn't wait till she was 69. But yeah, she came out at 62, and that's kind of cool. So anyway, my second favorite nude scene of 1994 and one of my favorite nude scenes of all time. But number one because it not only features someone that I still to this day am blown away by how incredible her body is, but it also included other famous people in the same scene. Mm-hmm. And the winner of my best nude scene of 1994, number 1, is Elle Macpherson, Kate Fisher, and Portia de Rossi in Sirens. Sirens is truly one of the titans of all time celebrity nudity, TNA and Bush for sure. It's based on a true story set in 1930s Australia. This Sam Neill plays Norman Lindsay, who specialized in painting exquisite women naked in nature. Now, as you can imagine, that was pretty controversial in the 1930s, and somehow, some way, they got Elle Macpherson, whose nickname at the time was the body. She was,
right?
She was she actually had to gain about 20 pounds because she was like a supermodel, Sports Illustrated model. She had to gain 20 pounds,
Well, it went
which
to all
also,
the right
you know what
places.
happens. You know what happens when you gain 20 pounds and you're still
Titties.
skinny. It all goes into your boobs. And so not only did you get to see Elle Macpherson full frontal in this, especially at the scene at the hour and 15-minute mark, but Portia de Rossi,
which is insane.
also, she had made her nude movie debut in this, and she went full frontal, and obviously she's best known as the longtime wife of Ellen DeGeneres today. And Kate Fisher, by the way, I don't want to blow her off. She was an Australian model and actress, but anyway, was just voluptuous and gorgeous, and really just wonderful scene. This movie was literally, and Hugh Grant's in the movie too, which is funny because he's like plays this uptight Protestant minister, and all Norman Lindsay's painting all these gorgeous women nude, and then the women get his wife, played by Tara Fitzgerald, to like loosen up and get naked, and he can't handle it, yet at the same time he's incredibly turned on. It's very funny, kind of. There's a cool theme, but there's even a scene in there where Tara Fitzgerald is totally naked in a church scene. She's fantasizing about it, and really just amazing. She has sex with a blind guy. But getting back to the meat of the story
Yes,
here,
give us the meat.
The full frontal of Elle Macpherson, Kate Fisher, and Portia de Rossi is my number one nude scene of 1994. I love that. And what an incredible year, Andrea. Jeez Louise.
I don't even know where to start. It's like Pam, Portia, Kim, Teri. It was like a best of all time list, but it was 1994. If you ever need to do a part 2 of 1994 or an extension, no one will be mad at you, and I will be patiently awaiting, because that was epic. I don't even think it could even be numbered 1 to 10. I think they were all number 1 just 10 times, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like,
well, Andrea,
that was epic.
I already have an extension, so yeah. But anyway, no, it was a great year, and like I said, even the ones that didn't make it, I could have done a whole show on. So,
seriously,
Andrea, I hope you enjoyed my favorite nude scenes of 1994, and we'll be getting to other decades or years and decades and everything else, because I really enjoy doing these lists. So thanks for being a part of it.
Of course, I can't wait till we talk next.
You got it. Take care.
This concludes another skin-titillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.